exciting episode of Will's Garage. And quite fashionable for you. We've got the 2014 Range Rover Sport. The Range Rover Sport in 2005 with the code name L320, which was the older version of this. This is the 2013 model, which is the new upgraded version, which was given the code name L494. This particular model is a bit shorter than the previous model, and as you can see, it's a bit more elegant and more stylish than the previous model. It's a bit lighter. The previous model had a bigger boot space, but in the new uplift, the L494, it has a bit of a smaller boot case, as we'll see, and the side, as you can see, it's a bit elegant as it comes from the family of the full range Range Rover and the Evoque, which is quite stylish as preferred to the previous model, the L320, which used from the Discovery, which was a bit rugged and rough. In the year 2010, around the year 2010, most manufacturing companies started to mess around with body kit modifications, and we see this in the upgraded Range Rover, which had fenders or vents on the bonnet and on the side, which are completely useless when it comes to the performance side, but they do look good and they make the car look a bit beastie, and it does make the car look good. And as we move to the side, of course, we have side mirrors, power side mirrors, and you can control them using the dialogues on the inside, as we'll come to check. And of course, the black handles. It's the small details that matter. The black handles make the car as it looks fine and just elegant. And as you see, when you move to the back, it has a kind of a slanting downwards kind of a motion. That's due to the Evoque kind of a chassis in which this car was taken from. As in, it's elegant, looks fit, looks big still, and the boot space, although it's smaller than the previous model, it's not that small. It's still very good, and as we'll get to that. And at the end, of course, we have a stock spoiler. This spoiler is quite good, looks very nice, and just complements the back of the car, which of course very important in the looks of the car. It just pops out the back, which, as you can see, very nice. As complemented by the rear spoiler, this is quite a unique feature, looks elegant, good, and complements the back of the car. And as we move down, we see the rear lights. The rear lights are quite an upgrade to the L320 model, which was more of a box-like shape, configuring it from the Discovery family. But since this comes from the full version Range Rover and the Evoque version, the rear headlights are more LED lights and have a kind of a unique U-shaped LED, which actually is quite elegant, looks very nice at night. And I love how they made it come to the side. There's just something about brakelets that come to the side, it just complements the car. As we can see on the wheelbase, it's quite impressive as it comes with 275s or 21s. In short, that's just 21-inch rims. And you can of course upgrade them to 22-inch rims, which it still has that allowance. And as you can see, these are very big tires for an SUV, quite elegant, quite fit. And we have Land Rover stock rims. These are black, pure black, which just complement the car. Of course, when you bought these cars, they had a variety of color options, from red to silver, white. But it's just something about black that just complements this car. Considering that the Range Rover was made as an SUV, it catered for all types of people, considering tall, short, doesn't matter. They made side steps on the side, which have Range Rover logo on them. That's how you know you are on a luxurious car. Most SUVs don't have this and they don't see the need, but Range Rover cares for its customers and its dealers. So they made this custom-made step so that it's easy to come in and out of the car as you wish. And as we move to the front of the Range Rover Sport, which is the face it's the look of the car that actually matters. Because you see how elegant the front is, and compared to the previous model, the L320 model, the light is more elegant, more stylish, more futuristic, as I might put it, with LED lights, and of course, my favorite feature, the Range Rover engraved on the headlamp, which is quite amazing, looks unique, and just stands out generally. And other than that, when you move to the grille, we have an all-black grille, and it's quite big, quite spacious, with the Land Rover badge, of course, and of course the iconic Range Rover badge on the bonnet. It just looks amazing, it just stands out. You know, when you drive a Range Rover, you know you got the luxurious model. So why not the badge, man? The badge looks very good, very stylish, yet very simple. And as you see, the grille allows for a lot of airspace to come into the car, as it's quite big, as you also have it down here as it hits the radiator, allowing for cooling.
Welcome to Mountain View Gardens Nanyuki by Finca Properties Limited. These are 50 by 100 plots going for a cash offer price of 220,000 Kenya shillings and 250,000 Kenya shillings in installment. All legal community Nanyuki Rumuruti Road, neighboring all Jetta Conservancy and Mount Kenya homes. This area has all social amenities, all-weather roads, water, electricity, and an electric fence already installed. Mountain View Gardens is from Nanyuki town and is ready for immediate development with a free site visit every Wednesday and Saturday. For inquiries, bookings, reservations, and free site visit, SMS the word plot to 4309. Call us on 0721 737 300 or visit our website at www.finca.co.ke. Come to our offices in Kitengela Town, Towers, E6. Prime and affordable.
The car, it just pops out the back, which, as you can see, very nice. As complemented by the rear spoiler, this is quite a unique feature, looks elegant, good, and complements the back of the car. And as we move down, we see the rear lights. The rear lights are quite an upgrade to the L320 model, which was more of a box-like shape, figuring it came from the Discovery family. But since this comes from the full version Range Rover and the Evoque version, the rear headlights are more LED lights and have a kind of a unique U-shaped LED, which actually is quite elegant, looks very nice at night. And I love how they made it come to the side. There's just something about brakelets that come to the side, it just complements the car. As we can see on the wheelbase, it's quite impressive, as it comes with 275s R21s. In short, that's just 21-inch rims, and you can of course upgrade them to 22-inch rims, which it still has that allowance. And as you can see, these are very big tires for an SUV, quite elegant, quite fit. And we have Land Rover stock rims. These are black, pure black, which just complement the car. Of course, when you bought these cars, they had a variety of color options, from red to silver, white, but it's just something about black that just complements this car. Considering that the Range Rover was made as an SUV, it catered for all types of people, considering tall, short, doesn't matter. They made side steps on the side, which have Range Rover logo on them. That's how you know you are on a luxurious car. Most SUVs don't have this and they don't see the need, but Range Rover cares for its customers and its dealers. So they made this custom-made step so that it's easy to come in and out of the car as you wish. And as we move to the front of the Range Rover Sport, which is the face, it's the look of the car that actually matters. Because you see how elegant the front is, and compared to the previous model, the L320 model, the light is more elegant, more stylish, more futuristic, as I might put it, with LED lights, and of course, my favorite feature, the Range Rover engraved on the headlamp, which is quite amazing, looks unique, and just stands out generally. And other than that, when you move to the grille, we have an all-black grille, and it's quite big, quite spacious, with the Land Rover badge, of course, and of course the iconic Range Rover badge on the bonnet. It just looks amazing, it just stands out. You know, when you drive a Range Rover, you know you got the luxurious model. So why not the badge, man? The badge looks very good, very stylish, yet very simple. And as we see, the grille allows for a lot of airspace to come into the car, as it's quite big, as you also have it down here as it hits the radiator, allowing for cooling to happen faster and quicker, reducing chances of overheating. And as we see, this car is quite big, quite wide, and really stands out, as it makes it stand out. And as we move to the lower ground, as we see that the Range Rover has a 7.9-inch ground clearance. It's an off-road car, of course, but you can also drive it on the town, highway. It's an all-terrain kind of a car, and we see that the ground clearance isn't that bad, as it also complements the car. Looks quite amazing and just wow. And of course, since we are talking about quite a powerful machine, let's get to the inside the bonnet, see what is got under the hood. And something that's quite unique about these Range Rovers that I've noticed, the latch for opening the bumper isn't on the driver's side, but yet on the passenger side. That's quite unique, quite different, which I might admit I like that. It's different. The Range Rover Sport came with 4 trims while they were being manufactured. The 4 respective trims are the SE version, the HSE version, the supercharged version, and the autobiography version, all in their respective orders. The particular model that we are reviewing today is the HSE version, which has a 3-liter diesel that produces 340 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. And considering that this is a diesel, it produces a lot of power, and it's all-wheel. Since this is an off-road, the power is instant and quite powerful. But for the most models, they suggest you go for the HSE version or the supercharged version, which the HSE version, as I have said, has the 3-liter diesel, but the autobiography and the supercharged version has a 5-liter diesel that produces around 500 horsepower, 510 horsepower, and of course all-wheel 8-speed gearbox, as I had previously mentioned. And it's, of course, it goes without saying, you should take care of your car, service your car on a regular basis, either between 6 months or 10,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. And you will have a very durable car. Although the Range Rover Sport scored a 2.5 rating on the SUV ratings on the 2014 models, it's got 8 with a rating of 2.5, which was a bit low on the reliability sector, as they claim the Range Rover Sport isn't as reliable as the Porsche Cayenne and maybe even the BMW X5. Having gone through the engine of this magnificent machine, we'd like to go to the rear part and see what goes on the cargo area. On the 2014 Range Rover Sport, as you can see, it has a very powerful upgrade on the face uplift, or you can call it a rear lift, whichever makes you feel better. And as you can see from the previous model, the L320, this is quite stylish. Makes the car look more modern and futuristic. As we had previously talked about, we have the iconic spoiler, and which has a top brake light, which works of course. And what I love about this, it hides the rear wiper, which is underneath here, and it keeps the car quite settled, unique, and flat out. Just looks great. And of course you cannot miss it, the Range Rover badge. It's just there. It looks wonderful with black and just iconic. You just know Range Rover when you see one. I mean, it's in the brand, you can even see it. And the back, it has a black strip, which just makes the car, even if the car is dark, it just complements the light. And of course, before we go too far, we want to talk about the dual exhaust. It's not something big, but it's quite, rather than making the car look quite good, because it does make the car look quite good and sporty. It also sounds great, and it's actually quite helpful for removing the exhaust gases out of the engine fast, as the exhaust pipe is underneath, and having dual exhaust just makes everything easier and work efficiently together. And before going far, I'm going to show you the inside. Opens by itself, of course. Range Rover, what do you expect? The cargo area in the 2014 model, in the L494 model, as you can see, it isn't as big as the previous model, the L320, as this has a cubic feet of 27.7 cubic feet, while it's stock like that. And with the rear seats slanted down, we have 62.2 cubic feet of space, which is not as big as the previous model, but it's quite big for an SUV and quite stylish, as you can see. And you can have the cover, the rear view cover, for setting it up. And as you can see, quite easy to set up and quite stylish, as it prevents prior eyes from seeing what you have in the back seat. Keeps your privacy secret, and as you can see, quite as helpful. And of course, we have the tag lines, in which you can use to tie around the cargo you have behind here. And of course, the tag lines are on each side. We have 4 on each side, 2 on each side, which makes a total of 4. And you can tie together the cargo you have so that it doesn't move around. And of course, before I get far, there's one charging port on the boot, which is on this side, on which you can charge something. Even if you're on a picnic, you just plug in and charge wherever you want. And of course, you have the boot. And before I forget, you see this. I came to notice recently that this is quite effectful in an SUV, as it allows you to carry something in and out easily, as it's not very easy. Most SUVs have a sunken boot, a cargo area, that makes it hard to tow kitu, something heavy. Because if you remove something heavy, this makes work a lot easier, and to be honest, quite stylish. And of course, the finishing, Look at how slow that is and how elegant just it looks like.
The third generation twine. Live in a beach life city, enjoying coastal lifestyle with a cool breeze and ocean tides as you watch the sunset. In Malindi, touching the Kilifi Watamu bypass, sitting just 100 meters off in a gated and controlled Malaika Beach Hotel. Finca Properties Limited offers you a 100 plot for only 1.5 shillings. Electricity and water is available on site. These properties are ideal for cottages, holiday homes and hotels. For inquiries, bookings and reservations, SMS the word plot to 40309 or call us on 0721 737 300 or visit our website at www.finca.co.ke. Come to our offices in Kitengela Town, Pena Towers, Suite B6. Title deeds are ready. Finca Properties Limited, prime and affordable.
Range Rover Sport, having been a luxury edition car, SUV, it comes with a leather interior, of course different colors. We have the cream, black, even the red kind of interior, and of course with wood trims all over. It just makes the car look more futuristic. And the driver's seat, as I like to say, it's power electric, and as you can see, it's easy to control. You can set your height or your leg room to be able to drive comfortably. And with leather seats, of course, and perforated leather seats to be exact, it's quite comfortable, and I think it's quite suitable for a long distance journey. As you can see, with perforated seats, you don't have to keep moving your back for sweating in your back, and the perforated seats will help you ventilate it, and you'll drive well for a long distance. And of course, the steering wheel, it comes with a 3-spoke wheel, and dialogues, of course, on the steering wheel, on which we have the entertainment dialogue, and of course here we have the cruise control dialogue, of which we'll get back in a minute when we get on the road. Generally the car has quite a lot of leather, as you see, some leather here, on the top, and on the display we have a digital display for the driver. It is not analog. This is the 2014 uplift model. Everything is electronical and quite stylish, as I might add. And coming to the door, we have quite a unique door. As you can see, we can control the mirrors through here, depending on which mirror you want to control, and the windows, which is up here rather than down here for most cars. It's quite stylish, it's unique. I love unique things. And of course we have 8 speakers on this car, which, as you can see, are quite stylish, looks very impressive. And on the driver's door we have several controls in which you can control some systems of the car, including the windows, the power windows on all the 4 doors. You can also control your power mirrors using this dialogue over here. And the shape of the door, even the size of the door, is quite big, as this is an SUV, and quite stylish. As you can see, the speakers that are facing to you are facing you, and that means the quality sound that comes out of this car is quite amazing, quite powerful, quite clean too, as we will come to see. On the luxury edition of the Range Rover, we have very simple and quite elegant throttles, as we have the accelerator throttle and the brake pedal. They are aluminium and not as slidey as you might think. It's easy to use, quite very controllable, and I might say don't even need a lot of struggle in pressing them, just easy and quite simple. The interior of the Range Rover Sport is quite stylish, quite futuristic, as I might add, with aluminium chromes all around the car. It's quite unique and special, as I might add. And on the driver's seat, as I speak about the steering wheel, it's a 3-spoke steering wheel with paddle shifters, which we'll get to in a minute. But general look, it's all leather, and we got the Range Rover badge in the middle. You have to know you are driving a Range Rover anyway. It's quite unique, quite special, and simple, but quite unique, with the aluminium grille again going down on the lower spoke, and on the 2 sides we have the dialogue that controls the infotainment system, and on the right side we have the cruise control system. And to be honest, it has a great feel to it when you hold it. And of course, moving to the driver's dialogue, it's completely digital and quite informative, as anything that the car will like to tell the driver, it will display on the driver's display, and it's quite eligible, quite easy to read, and as you can see, just looks straight up amazing. On the infotainment system that we have down here, we have an infotainment system that has a 10-inch display. Of course, it comes stock. This car is quite comfortable with 8 speakers. We can hear how, and we are at only 22 volume. Anyway, the car is just amazing. The display is quite futuristic for its time, considering this is a 2014 model. And I love how we have wooden trims all around it. And I love how the climate control, which has a dual climate control, also has a digital layout in which you can actually see the temperature displayed on the digital log. And as we move to the shifter, the gearbox shifter, since this is a manual, an 8-speed manual, it's quite easy, quite futuristic to use, and quite stylish, as I might add. The Range Rover Sport comes with terrain control assistant, as we can't move between, you can't set manually the type of terrain you are on and change the car settings into between sand, gravel, highway, or even snow. And the car will automatically know how to change the differential locks and know how the car will move swiftly. But it's usually good to also leave it at auto, as auto will allow the car to set the terrain control automatically without even your knowledge or your consent, which is still quite amazing. The Range Rover has a lot of advanced features, which include even the lights, which, if I might demonstrate, they just light up by touching, which, to be honest, I've not seen in any other car. Considering this is the 2014 model, right now we're in 2022, which is a bit old, but still 2014 having such features is quite amazing. And generally the whole look of the top of the car looks amazing. The roof space is amazing. It's big, quite comfortable for anyone, even past 6 feet can fit comfortably by adjusting the seat, and just outright amazing. And coming down to the driver's side, the passenger side, the one feature that I loved about this particular model is the glove compartment box, which, in order to open, doesn't have a latch but rather a button. You press this, it opens. That's advanced, considering, most zinakuwa za kusukuma, but this has a button, and it's unique, and anything unique is rare. No, anything unique is rare, and rare is special. The Range Rover Sport was made as a 4-seater with 2 seats on the front and 2 seats on the back. But this middle seat isn't exactly a seat, but you can have someone who's small to fit here. You can easily sit here, as you can see. I can also fit in here, but it's not as comfortable as the seats that you have on the side, which are quite comfortable. I had set my seat on the driver's seat here. I'm 5'11", and nilitosha vizuri. When I came to the back, as you can see, I have a lot of leg space and headroom. For anyone who's taller, I think they will still fit. And the seats, since they're still leather and perforated, they're quite comfortable. Yeah, even for long journeys, this is quite comfortable, quite easy. We have with 2 speakers on the side. The sound system in this car is amazing. Having been driven on the rear of the Range Rover is quite amazing, quite luxurious, as you even have your own cooling system, the AC. We have a AC at the rear in which you can control, and which is actually fun enough, you even have seat warmers at the back of the seats. The back seats have seat warmers, in which you can control through here, which you have a dialogue, and of course you have one charging port and a place to put your phones, anything, which you also have one on the back of each seat, also back here. And the room is just amazing, and since the car is a bit high, it allows even for kids, if you have children, they can easily see outside. Since the window is a bit low and the seats is a bit comfortable, they will be able to look outside while you're driving and keep themselves busy. So we're taking the Range Rover for a test drive, and as you can feel, the car is quite silent, settled, and since it's an off-road, you barely feel the road, as the car is quite, it holds you, unasikia kaa wenye uko kwa hewa. And I might add the feature of the sport mode. Since this is the Range Rover Sport, it has a sport mode in which, if you access the sport mode, you can change gears, as it has a dialogue here. Right now I'm in gear 2. The Range Rover Sport has a smooth ride, and since it's an SUV, you feel high, uko juu, and the seat, of course, after adjusting it, you are comfortable. The Range Rover has a sport mode, which I'll get to in a minute, but the general drive of the car is quite neutral, quite stable, as we had talked about the terrain control assistant, which determines the type of road you are in. As right now we are on a tarmac road, it will set itself to a tarmac terrain. So it will ensure that you have a most comfortable ride without even letting you know. So that's an thumbs up on the Range Rover. It's quite powerful, very stable, comfortable, and very confident. This car is compact. Even the feel on the interior, you feel like you are protected. Even on collisions, the vehicle issues are safety features that are out of this world. I mean, we have airbags on the side and on the steering wheel. We have a very powerful engine. We have a car that doesn't get stuck easily on mud as compared to its rivals like the BMW X5. The difference between them isn't that big, but the Range Rover beats the X5 in certain qualities, like the space. The Range Rover is bigger in space as compared to the X5, and quite more powerful than the X5, giving it more off-road capabilities than the X5, having the terrain assistant. But compared to the Porsche Cayenne, the Porsche beats this because of the only one thing, the reliability level. The reliability level on the Porsche Cayenne was 4.5, yet on this was 2.5, which doesn't give this car quite a good review. But I believe the reliability all depends on you, how you maintain the car, how you take care of the car, service the car, and it won't let you down. As we mark the end of our review, we'd like to talk about one of the most important reasons for the review, the value for money ratio. The value for money ratio for this car is, as you might think, as a luxurious car, it's still quite high, as this model in Kenya right now it varies from around 9 million to 12 million Kenyan shillings. And of course, depending on your dealer or the mileage the car has already traveled, or the quality of the car, it might vary, but that's the rough estimate of the car. And of course, having said that, we have come to the end of today's episode on Wheels Garage. My name is Henry Maina, your host, and see you next time.